Hello, my name is Alexandra Taylor and I am 25 years old and I currently live in Brisbane, Australia. I met Keesha and the Furnaces through church and I have known them since I was a little girl and they've had such an incredible impact on my life. They're not just friends, they have become family. Bob and Susan are lovingly referred to as Uncle Bob and Aunt Sue, and Keesha was my cousin Keesha. And I just adored them so much, and I'm so grateful for their impact in my life. I'm also so eternally grateful for Keesha's legacy and for the Warrior Princess mission. And I credit that for potentially saving my life. It was a Facebook post by Bob in a social media movement called #AskHer, encouraging men to be encouraging the women in their lives, their wives, their daughters, their sisters, their mothers, to be going and getting their regular breast checks. I stumbled upon this post and I remember sharing it and was totally on board with the mission. And it just made me think, oh, I haven't had a breast check in like a year and a half. And so I did a self-check and I found this hard lump that I had not noticed there before. It was about 3 centimeters in size and it just was very much out of the ordinary. And so I sent a message to my mom and just said, hey, I just did a self-check, found a small hard lump, should I go get it checked out? And she just responded, yes, go get it checked out. So she referred me to the Wesley Breast Clinic here in Australia to go and have an ultrasound and some potential biopsies. And then I went home, waited on the results, and a couple days later I got the call. And it's a call you never want to get, but the doctor just said, we found that the larger tumor is in fact a phyllodes tumor, which is cancerous, and it needs to be removed immediately. Phyllodes tumors are an incredibly rare form of breast cancer that grows really, really quickly and can metastasize very quickly. And so they're actually very shocked that they found it only at 3 centimeters because they can grow really, really quickly first. So they set me up for surgery. At this point, I'm thinking, if I'm gonna have a mastectomy, it's going to be a very big surgery, and I'm here in Australia alone. And so I made the decision to set up an emergency flight to the US to be back with my family, because I was only 23 and I'm still my parents' baby girl. And so I go back to the States, and I knew that in Memphis we have West Cancer Clinic, and that's where Keesha had her amazing doctors and such amazing care. I knew I'd have Bob and Susan and their support, and I'd have my parents to care for me. So I returned to the States that next week and went in for confirmed checks and testing with West Cancer Clinic. And what was amazing is at West they said that America is about 5 to 7 years ahead of Australia when it comes to breast cancer research, and they found that with phyllodes tumors it's better to instead of doing the full mastectomy, it's better to go in more conservatively, taking margins around the tumor, and then coming back and testing the skin around that area. So I went in for surgery and treatment. I got the news that after doing the testing of the skin cells around where my tumor was removed, I got the news that I was in remission in January of 2018. And so it was incredibly exciting, but I credit all of that to early detection, and I credit that to Keesha's legacy. I don't believe that I would have gone to get checked for at least another year and a half. I didn't have an OBGYN or any sort of doctor here in Australia at the time, and it wasn't something I had really thought about, and being 23, it wasn't, on my radar. But because of Keesha's legacy, because of the Warrior Princess mission, because of Bob's post, and hashtag Ask Her, I found it when I did, and the doctors have said, they credit early detection to why everything went the way it did, and why I'm in remission, and why I, didn't have to have such extreme surgeries, and all of that is credited to early detection. I want to encourage any woman out there, no matter what your age, no 23-year-old expects to get told they have breast cancer. They don't even start doing mammograms until you're 40. But it's not as rare as you think. And every woman needs to make sure that they are doing their self-checks. It's so easy to learn how to do a self-check. You can either ask your doctor or you can just Google it. It's so easy to do a self-check. Be aware of your breasts, just know what's going on in your body. And if there's anything of any concern, any hard lump, anything you're unsure of, go to your doctor. It'll be so worth it. Where I'm at now is that I've recently gotten married. So I used to be Alexander McDaniel, now I'm Alexander Taylor. I married my Australian husband, and we live together here in Australia. We got married in January of 2020, and I'm just so grateful for him. And I'm still getting checked every 6 months. And we had another scare in February, but it came back clear, and I'm just so grateful that because we were on top of it, and because of early detection, if it comes back, then we can handle it and it'll still be early.